That's funny. And we are live. Welcome to the show, everyone. It is Wednesday night, as always. And we're live. Did I mention? Of course, I did. Welcome. I am Maximo, your host, as always. We're on the east side of downtown San Antonio here at VOD Pod Media. The big homie, Gylan Jackson, the man, the myth, the man behind the cameras. We're in front of the cameras tonight. We're getting ready to have some fun because I got the guy here. Alvaro, what's up, man? How you doing?
Very good, man. Glad to be here. Hey, what's up?
Get to us live, folks. If you're watching, like, comment, share, subscribe, comment. We want to get to all your questions, all your comments tonight because we got a special guest tonight, man. Listen, we wanted to have you in here. I thank you for coming in tonight, taking time out of your schedule. I seen you rock a lot of stages, man. Dude. So you're impressive, dude. I tell you that as a performer.
Thanks.
I got to give you that compliment right off the bat, man. So tell us for our audience, those that may be unfamiliar with who you are anyway? Let's start there.
I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure that out myself. I go by the name Alvaro Del Norte. I play in several bands, but probably my main one is Piñata Protest. It's a punk rock, Tex-Mex, norteño, /ska, /metal,
It's
a
unique.
little bit of everything, yeah.
It's definitely original.
Yeah, that's one of the things we definitely strive to do, be original in this world of, where everything's a copy of everything, pretty much.
That's right, man.
You got to stand out these days. So, yeah.
How did y'all come up with this style? Who created these bands, by the way, too? Is you and some homies? I mean, how did you get started doing this work?
They're all my bands. Piñata Protest started as this desire to do something that meant something to me, like something real to me. And at the time, I guess when I started, I was 2003, 4, 5? I don't know. I can't remember anymore.
About 20 years ago.
Yeah, it was a while back, man. And around that time, I started really getting back into my own culture, my Mexican culture, where I came from. I started rediscovering the music that my parents rediscovering. Like, I already knew the songs. I heard it all my life.
Yeah, because it's a different gen, right? Different generation.
Yeah. And, I just fell in love with them, man. From that, with this explosion of just music. And then at the same time, of course, I was like really into punk rock and roll and all that stuff. And at the same time, I was also playing in several bands. I was in a Christian rock band for a while even, which is weird. But the thing about these bands I played in was that they all sounded the same, not the same, but they sounded like other bands that existed at the time.
Okay.
So, yeah, Piñata Protest basically kind of grew out of that desire just to do something that meant something to me and that was, different from anything else that, existed at the time. And that's basically how it started. And, yeah, we've been going on for many, many years now and done a lot of really cool stuff. More recently, it started 2 other bands, Los Callejeros de San Anto, and that's just a cover band, and we do San Anto songs that you would hear right now happening at Fiesta, like downtown, Like we do Rubén Vela, we do La Cumbia, Ramon Ayala, Tigres del Norte, Flaco Jimenez, stuff like that. And we play it pretty close to the original style, and that's, to me, that's something like, to be true, man, I kind of love playing in that band more than the Piñata now.
Okay.
Those songs are beautiful songs, man. They're great, man. And I love making people dance, To me, that means everything. And I have another third band I started, during COVID, and that's called Grupo Tan Tan. Get it?
I've seen that, man. Yeah, I have.
So Grupo Tan Tan, it started because of COVID, because, when COVID started, everything shut down.
Yeah.
And so Piñata wasn't playing, Callejeros weren't playing. So I was like, how do I make money? How do I get by? So we started this Fara Fara band. And Fara Fara is basically just a norteño band, a mariachi version, a norteño version of a mariachi band, sorry. So we got a tuba player, it's me on accordion, bajo sexto, and then, we got a snare drum there.
Yeah.
The rhythm and stuff. That's Fara Fara music. It's really popular in like California and other parts of Mexico.
Yeah.
But over here in Texas, it's not really a thing, really, which is weird. But yeah, man, that got us through COVID. You know, we're doing a lot of house parties and, you know.
During COVID.
Yeah.
They were wearing masks, folks. Don't worry.
Yeah, we were.
Socially distanced at the houses on the west side.
It was weird, man. It was weird, man, because, you know, I don't know. But that got us through COVID. And honestly, like, after everything started opening up and we started getting more gigs, I was like, you know, I really like this, man. Because it's more of a personal, like, playing style, because you're not on a stage, you're right there at a party, just like mariachis. It's man. Dope. And so anyways, yeah, those are the 3 bands I play in now.
So let's go back. So let's talk a little bit about, you know, you and your family. Where are you from, man? How do you personally identify? Because one thing we like to do here at these table talks is highlight the culture, and music plays a large part of the culture, right? So you're playing the music that's a fusion blend of your interests, your parents' interests, the region, right? Things of that nature. So tell me a little bit about you and your family, man. Like, how do y'all identify, man, amongst the diaspora and the spread of our people, man?
Diaspora, I love that word.
It's a beautiful word.
Well, I'm originally from Nuevo Laredo, Tamaulipas, in Mexico, right on the border, on the other side of Laredo.
Yeah.
If you heard of the expression, los dos Laredos, the 2 Laredos, you know. So I'm originally from there. Most of my family's from there. I got brought to this country when I was really little, illegally. Got family, you know, we went through the immigrant experience pretty much, you know. Came to San Antonio, lived in the West Side for a while, and that's how I grew up, you know. It was interesting, I think, growing up. I had like La Migra was a big thing, you know, growing up.
Yeah.
You know, the Migra was like the boogeyman. When you're an immigrant, you know. The first memory I ever had even was my mom, myself, and my brother were at home. My dad was at work, and then there was like banging at the door in the middle of the night, man.
Damn.
Banging at the loud bangs. And my mom goes and looks outside the window, and then she turns back and looks at my brother and I, and her eyes are huge, right? And she said, "Let me get out," something like that.
Yeah.
And we knew exactly what that meant. So we hid in the closet for a while. The banging of the door continued, you know, and eventually went away. And they kept calling my mom's name too. So anyways, I don't know. And so somebody ratted us out. I don't know what happened. Anyways, fast forward, man. I lived kind of other places. I traveled a lot when I was little.
Yeah.
For jobs, for my parents' jobs, and my dad eventually joined the army, and so I got to see a lot of the U.S. But for the most part, I've lived in San Antonio most of my life, man. I identify as San Antonian, even though I'm from Mexico. I identify as Texan, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, with strong roots in Mexico. You know, hablo español. You know, I listen to everything Mexican music. You know, I love mariachi, son jarocho. I love everything, man. But you know, I identify as San Antonian, man, and you know, like I said, fiesta is my favorite, like, my favorite holiday, man. Like, you know.
So shout out to all the fiesta goers. I think tonight's what, Nyosa?
Yeah.
Something like that. A night in old San Antonio. So if you're out there, make sure you share the stream, the squeaky clean stream. Mr. Gylan Jackson, you've outdone yourself. But yeah, we want to be out there on the ground. We are glad that people are here with us too. If you're watching along, please give us a share, give us a like, subscribe. We need your support. We're here chatting with Alvaro, man. You got it. So listen, let me go back. Let me go back as well. So you're coming up as a young man. You got an affinity for music and playing instruments because you're an accomplished dude. You can play that accordion, man.
Thanks.
How'd you get down with that?
It was, you know, I had to do it out of desperation almost when I was coming up with the band, Piñata Protest. I'm actually a bass player. That's what I played in.
So
the
you
band
prefer the
before.
bass?
Yeah, and I love playing bass, man. I played trumpet in school, in middle school and high school, and then once I got into punk rock and met up with a friend, with a buddy who started teaching me guitar, he got me to do the bass because he was a great guitar player. It's like, just play bass, it's easier, blah, blah, blah. And I just wanted to play music, so I'm like, yeah. So when it come time to do Piñata Protest, man, I couldn't find an accordion player that was like like under 30 and was open minded, you know, that thought it'd be cool because everybody wanted. They thought the idea was dumb. Basically, I got a lot of people like told me that's dumb. Why are you gonna do punk rock with norteño? Like, you know, I will say the only person I don't know if you're familiar with Los Carnales.
I don't.
From Houston, great band, man, and really look up to them. Felipe Galvan, the singer, he was like basically the only adult, like you know, at the time who gave me any like positive like reinforcement, you know, but like échale güey, like dale ganas, and that meant everything to me. But yeah, man, I just basically had to pick it up myself. Luckily, at the time, I was going to Palo Alto College, and they actually taught accordion there, man. The only college in North America that teaches button style accordion.
Still?
I believe they still do. Yeah, I believe they still do. And I was taught by Juan Tejera.
Sure.
The great Juan Tejera.
Shout out to Juan, wherever you're at.
He's
watching. No, I don't know if he's watching.
He's working on his books, man. I don't know. He's doing amazing things.
He's a brilliant guy.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So took you know, lessons with him and Eva Ibarra even for a minute, and just went on from there. You know, I wish I would have taken it a little more seriously though in the beginning, because in the beginning I just wanted just to dive into like starting to play music without really bothering to learn the classics, like all the conjunto tejano norteño songs, you know. I just dove into it, but I'm kind of like playing catch up, which is kind of like why I play in my side bands anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's kind of like how I arrived at the accordion, you know, and it's a motherfucker, man. It's a motherfucker of an instrument. It is hard, you know. It's a harder instrument than most others. But I love the history of it, man.
That's what I was saying, because I understand you're going to Germany pretty soon. Does the accordion originate in Germany? Where does it originate from? I don't even know.
Well, the style that I have, I play a Hohner accordions. That's the brand I use, man. And that's a German company. So those are made in Germany. I'm not sure exactly where it originates from, the button style, but you have the Cajun style accordions, the Irish style. You have concertinas. You have chromatic style accordions. They're all button style, but mine is kind of unique. It's not unique, but it's preferred in like norteño music, so South Texas, northern Mexico, and then also when you get down to like vallenato, like style music, and then like South America, man, they took that same instrument that I use and they fine-tuned the reeds like to their style, and you know it's a whole nother, you know, style of music, man. It's beautiful because like, you know, this. Basically what happened was, you know, these immigrants brought this instrument and then the local people like made it their own, man. And that's exactly what is a story with like the style of accordion that I play, you know. And, you know, I love it how it's tied into the whole melting pot of Texas history, man.
Yeah.
You know, if you're familiar with the conjunto story, it's, you know, it's great, man. This is like ours, like, you know, and the songs are ours, you know. So I love that.
It's definitely unique, man. And that's the thing, man. I'm hoping you can share some knowledge and drop some of those gems about, you know, the importance of that music and what it means to the people that, you know, again, maybe immigrants, may be, you know, first generation, right? People that when this music first originated, you know, telling these stories, right? And these songs were more than songs, you know, it was a way of life, right?
Yeah, the corridos, man. The corridos has a deep history in Mexico. You know, corridos is just, that's how news was passed on, you know, especially about the Mexican Revolution. Corridos, La Cucaracha, probably like, we play that song, La Cucaracha. We do a cover of that, you know. But it's actually a song that originated during 1910s and Mexican Revolution times, man. And La Cucaracha is actually a story about a train called La Cucaracha. I'm not exactly sure of the details of it, but that's the gist of it, you know, what's about. So yeah, corridos, man. and yeah. Anyways, I'm sorry.
That's all good. It's all good. So again, let's continue here. You're a young man. You coming up. You're playing the bass. You're learning the button style accordion, and you got a dream and a vision to launch this band, Piñata Protest.
Yeah.
Tell me how you got the name Piñata Protest.
That name kind of like almost drew it out of a hat, man. Honestly.
Nice hat.
A nice hat. Not as, pretty much whatever. No, well, I will say that, like, you know, the whole idea behind the name was I wanted two words, and I wanted one in English and one in Spanish to kind of reflect the band's identity, you know, bilingual and everything. So I was coming up with names, man. I was like putting like like pirate protest or pirata protest, you know, pineapple piñata or something, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the do PP kind of sound. Free cochinos out there. So yeah, but I like the piñata protest a lot, man, because to me it just rung really well, and it seemed to have some kind of power behind it for some reason. So yeah, man, that's you know, that's the story with that. Sorry, it's not.
No, it's good because it definitely. When I first heard the name, I'm thinking, okay, is there some sort of social change sort of vibe to this group without even knowing who y'all were, right?
Yeah.
Is there some sort of, you know, this rings of like anarchy, revolt, you know, people and the fist, right?
Of course, man. We're a punk rock band. Of course. Of course. Yeah. That's definitely an aspect of it. And that's why I wanted to have like the word protest in there or something like sounding something like that. I will say though that a lot of people, like, they get confused. They're like, why are they protesting piñatas? Like, why do they hate them? Or sometimes the image comes up of piñatas on protest. Yeah. Like, they're tired. They're tired, man. They're tired of getting beat up, you know. So now they're protesting. They're fighting back. I actually had a show recently at the Cesar Chavez March here in San Antonio.
Congrats. I heard about that.
Yeah, we played with Little Joe, man. That was an honor. He actually he checked out my band, and he really dug it. It meant a lot. I was like, yeah.
Well, it's hard not to like y'all.
Well,
I would be honest with you on that.
Well, I think, you know, some of the older generations are like, you know, like anything past 1980s, like, I don't know, bad. I don't know, and especially like rah 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 kind of music, you know, punk rock style. I did have one lady come up, and I don't know, like she just kept going on about why do they hate piñatas and stuff, and you know, and anyways, I got to meet her after the show, and she's like, oh, I thought you guys were like gonna talk about like how much you hate piñatas or something, and I really liked your show, so that was nice too. I love it when the abuelas come up, you know. And we do covers too, man. We do like Volver, Volver, and we do Tragos Amargos, you know, just to keep it real. But we do it in our style, of course. And I don't know, man. You know, I think the band, you know, is a reflection of who we are, and everybody in the band too, man. I will say this, like, you know, we're Mexican American, we're Chicanos. You know, we all grew up listening to Norteño Tejano growing up, you know. Some of us speak better Spanish than others, but, you know, there's a whole history behind that too.
Sure.
As to why that is. We went to Spain, you know, years back, and, you know, that was a whole issue in itself, man. But anyways, but yeah, I mean, everybody in the band, you know, we're not from here. We're from Texas, pretty much. You know, we're a reflection of the music. The band is a reflection of who we are.
Yeah, man. Like I said, y'all are dope, man. I'll take my hat off to you, man. And you know, when I see y'all on stage talking about some of the band members, some of your style, some of your vibe, I think, you know, a fusion of different bands I've seen and grew up with, right? You think of maybe the Chili Peppers or maybe the Sex Pistols, right? I mean, some of these people that got a unique, groundbreaking, like do your own shit sort of vibe. They got your own little genre. You know, who are some of yours and maybe the band's like biggest influences musically, you know, pop culture wise? I mean, anyone, you know, that you would say that have inspired you. That's one of the questions I always like asking our guests.
Yeah. for me, number one would be Los Tigres del Norte.
Yeah.
Because I just love their songs. Number one, growing up, they were the one band that I heard like talking about the immigrant experience, and that meant a lot. Like as a kid, there's this awesome song that they play called "Jaula de Oro," Golden Cage, and it has this cool skit between a dad and his son. And I remember growing up, my dad and I used to kind of do the skit, like like the lip sync it, and the skit is about like the father asking his son if he wants to go back to Mexico, and his son's like, "What are you talking about, Dad? I don't want to go back to Mexico. No way, Dad." The kid became so Americanized, he won't even speak Spanish to his dad. And anyways, so that meant a lot to me, like that band, But we're Los Crudos, I think another great band. A lot of people don't know about them, but Los Crudos was like the first like prominent like Chicano band out there that played they're hardcore music. The singer Martin Suruguay's, I believe he's Colombian, and it was cool like when I was getting into punk rock, actually finding a punk band that sang in Spanish, and that meant a lot because everything's in English, man, like everything. And punk rock started in England or New York, and it's English, I get it, but it was really cool to like hear songs in Spanish, and then singing about again like similar the immigrant experience too, man. So but overall, man, the band, we all have like a variety of tastes, like my bass player loves Richie. He loves NoFX a lot, man. He's the biggest NoFX fan. He watches like all their shows, listen to a lot of podcasts. Like he tells me about it, and our drummer likes metal, and our guitar player loves blues.
Yeah, you can tell that. I think you can tell that just by their vibe. I mean, the way that they express themselves on stage.
Yeah, man, and we all kind of bring that influence for sure into the band, which is cool. So it's not just very one-sided, Yeah.
That sort of fusion, man, is innovative. It's hip, man. I mean, that's the stuff that to me breaks ground, man. So hats off to you there. Hey, listen, if you don't know Piñata Protest and you're watching this right now, make sure you Google them, YouTube them, get a quick listen because they're unique. Now we've got some comments coming in. Let me see. We've got Joanne. What's up, Joanne? I hope you're doing good. She said she saw Piñata Protest at the Green Line in 2019. What a great time. They're awesome. Chanclas y Cerveza, April from 2019. They want to know also, Joanne wants to know if you got any gigs lined up for the summer.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. No, actually, we do have a show this Friday in San Antonio. It's going to be part of Fredstock. It's a fiesta event. It's free too. It's going to be happening at SAC. We have a show this Sunday in Austin. We have gigs coming up in Houston, Chicago, Nashville. I'm going to be going to Albuquerque also. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I can't really name them all.
That's all good.
Just, we have our website, social media. I'm always running that thing and updating, putting shows, so you can even look at like the latest posts. And yeah, I mean, we're always busy, man, and that's I love that. I love playing music. I love playing shows, so I'm grateful, especially after all this COVID stuff. So.
Yeah, man, COVID. I mean, we're not totally out of COVID either, so we don't want to talk about COVID past tense.
Right.
But it's man, what a beast COVID has been on so many people. And share a moment. If anyone's lost any loved ones to COVID, not to trivialize it, because man, it's a serious thing and our health is important, right? I mean, you give, I started out the show saying you give a great performance and a great show. That's one of the things I think our people vibe with. So even if someone wouldn't personally like your music, maybe it's not their forte, their taste, they don't care for it, they're going to say, man, these people put on a good show. Now, I was reading an article when Kanye West first like came out. Like it was his first like foray, right? He did a show like, I don't know, at the Playboy Mansion or something. He did like an hour set at the Playboy Mansion, and someone had wrote a review where like, man, this dude can give a show. When early Kanye was out, I mean, you drenched in sweat, you out there just performing your ass off, and people can feel that. I think y'all do something similar on stage. I've seen you come off stage just drenched in sweat, giving your all to the people, man. And that's what I think people reverberate with,
Yeah, I definitely do give my all, and my guys as well. We do come off stage very much drenched. Yeah, it's fun though, man. Like, I don't know, there's nothing like it. I just like giving people a good time, man. I love seeing people have a good time and get into it, and I don't know, open their minds a little bit, especially like when we travel, outside of Texas and the Southwest, where there's not as much color in the audience, and they may not be so familiar with the Mexican culture. I love them like getting into it, man. We've had a lot of moments like after a show on tour where we'd get invited out to a bar,
sure,
like next door, and okay, sure, we go check it out, and we walk into the bar as a band, and dude, like, this has happened, like, no joke, like at least 3 times. We walk in, and like the record player stops. Everybody looks at us, and everybody stands up, and they give us a standing ovation.
Really?
Bunch of white people, but and we walk through the bar, and then one by one, each one of us gets taken up by somebody, and we drink for the night for free, and we just talk, man. We talk about culture, we talk about politics, we talk about our music, and we get to know them as well when we share stories. And I love that, man. When I can feel like sometimes we're like ambassadors of not only our culture, but like San Antonio, and that means a lot.
That's what I'm saying, man. And not to stroke you up so much, man, but it's like people got a profound respect for y'all, and y'all leave people with a mesmerized state. So we got another comment coming in. We got Mickey Sweet. What's up, Mickey? I hope you're doing great tonight. He says he first saw Piñata Protest when they played KSYM's Alt to Hunger event at Sam's Burger Joint quite a few years back. He says that was an experience. Wow. That's what I'm talking about. It's like people remember y'all. They know y'all. They can tell you exactly where it was, the year, the day, all this stuff, man.
Wow. Well, hey, thank you. Things are going well. Yeah, I remember. I do remember that show. I mean, I remember that. I was really excited about it, man. And those early days were something else, honestly. Like, we've been around, but those early days, man, were wild. And the cool thing about like us as a punk rock band is like we got started as you should, in a right fashion. Like, we were playing this warehouse called Snaps, which was a DIY spot. Nobody like over like 22 went there, man. It was a bunch of kids. It was beer, drugs, everything, whatever. It got raided by cops all the time. Skinheads would come in with baseball bats and beat the shit out of everybody there, sometimes. And that's where we had our first shows, man. Our first show and our first shows. And that spot meant a lot to a lot of people. And there's not a lot of us left that, knew about that spot. But, yeah, man, we got started in a proper fashion. That was really cool. Those are some wild times, though, man.
We've all been there. So talk to us about the short term, man. I understand you're going to Germany, man. Can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, you want to go there?
Yeah, very excited about this kind of a new venture. Never thought I'd be going in this direction, but myself and my partner Kelly.
Kelly? Who's Kelly?
Kelly Rosa.
I don't know no Kelly.
Control room over there. I don't know. Can you?
I heard of Kelly, but I don't know her.
Oh.
Wasn't she on like the Discovery Network or something? Well, Animal Planet she was on.
I think so, yeah. No.
Was it MTV we saw her on? That's what it was.
Yeah, one of those.
Does MTV still exist? Guyland confirms it does. Thanks, Guyland.
Yeah. So her and myself got asked by the city. Nothing's 100% confirmed, but got asked by the city of San Antonio to go represent at some festival over there that they're having. and kind of just to promote San Antonio and you know bring more tourism over here. So Kelly is a wonderful, exceptional artist, intellectual, everything.
Kelly
man.
does it all. I understand she was just in a show.
Yeah, she was part of the Food Network. You can even look at this stuff
Ah,
online.
the Food Network. I knew it was one of those.
Food Network on this very special Dia de los Muertos kind of show. Yeah, she was on there, and it was a really dope show. Like, man, like they had a bunch of artists, bunch of cooks from here in San Antonio, man, and
Yeah.
they shot it at Jaime's place in the barrio on the west side, and she was very inclusive of you know of us, not no like ricachones, you know, who already have notoriety, and you know she helped you know the community out, and that was really cool. Yeah, the show went great. We were actually part of it. They cut us last minute. We're too punk rock for them, I guess.
So yeah, that's another thing. But yeah, that was dope that was hooked up that way, and that was the intention. But I think when we talk about it, because there's a lot of conversations about inclusion, right? And if you're not really going to include our people, our music, our neighborhoods, then it's not really inclusion.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And, you know, I'm glad that, you know, a person like Kelly, people like Kelly are very few, and she was actually able to, you know, she could have gotten anybody, but she got the actual community, people from the community.
Yeah.
And yeah, that meant a lot. And yeah, but and it came out wonderful. So yeah, so the city is gonna be sending her and I to represent the city, and so we're gonna come up with like this original act. She plays son jarocho. She's a fabulous jarana player. She actually brought it.
Does Kelly want to come in here, by the way? Do you want to invite her in here,
Sure.
sir? It's your show tonight. So
you know, I say no. It's my show. You're right.
Ah, she's already coming in, by the way. Kelly, come on in. I look at Cape Pretty. Come on, sit down right here. Welcome. Oh, well, you got still some in your teeth, Kelly, so I just called you in. But don't worry, you look fabulous. So listen, go ahead and put the mic, put it up to you here. It moves. I recognize how these are getting scratched now. People going, boom, scratch, move, and over.
Oh.
Yeah, so welcome to the studio, Kelly.
Okay.
We got to bring you in here because y'all look fabulous tonight. And y'all were so great when y'all came in the building. Y'all were like waiting at the door, all polite, and you were on time, like it was your first day of school. I was like, wow, we've never had our guests come on time before. But welcome. So listen, you are a person of many talents, and as he was saying that you play, you know, the guitar?
The jarana.
Okay, we're gonna have you speak about that, but I have to tell you really quickly before we get there, because I'm a man who can go off on a segue, on a side note, and take this show off the rails. You gave a phenomenal presentation when the homie Abel Muhammad from the Nation of Islam came from Chicago, and they wanted to see the community. They wanted to see the murals. She curated an amazing half day. It was hot as hell. You know, it was one of those hot San Antonio summers. And we just took a tour of the West Side. Every single mural she went into, just like, I mean, it was like a museum level experience. It was dope. So I got to give you, that was like, I don't even know. And shout out to Abel. I know he's watching.
17?
It was a while ago. It was a long time ago. But I just had to give you a shout out for that because I almost forgot about it.
Yeah, it was fun.
But you know a lot of people in San Antonio as well. So you mentioned your partner. Is that what you mentioned?
Yes.
Do you want to partner in crime? You got to love it. Just bring that mic a little closer.
Stop. I'm getting yelled at by. I don't want to break
Guyline.
it, dude. There. I'll move. Better?
So do you want to introduce her? Do you want to talk to her about who Kelly is?
Oh my God.
Let's put you there on the spot.
I heard y'all Animal Planet.
I thought it was one of those. See, they're all owned by the same media.
They are.
Yeah.
Discovery Channel.
She was going to come in here and slap me like Will Smith.
No, we were laughing. It was funny. I thought it was funny. So.
Introduce yourself.
Hello. No, hi, I'm Kelly Rosa. I'm totally crashing this boys'
Come on
party.
in. No, it's a party.
No, my name came up because I think y'all were talking about Germany, right? So
yes.
We're super excited. It all started. No, I got to go. I got to go to New York with Visit SA, and the job isn't just to like play music, right? The job is to be a storyteller.
Yes.
And the goal is to get people to like fall in love with San Antonio and then come visit, right? And so, I mean, I guess I did really well because I came back from New York and they called me and they were like, hey, we hear that you play music with Alvaro and that he plays accordion, and we'd love to talk to y'all about going to our sister city, Dramstad?
That sounds about right.
I'm going to learn it before we go.
Aren't they playing at the Aztec coming up pretty soon?
And so there's this big music and beer festival
Nice.
in our sister city. And so we're going to do some really cool stuff as arts and culture ambassadors from the city of San Antonio.
Don't ruin it for us now, because I'll go over there and ruin it. That's
through.
why they're not sending me.
Come through. No, and it's really cool because in addition to kind of playing music, we're going to do some really cool, I'm going to teach them how to dance a chotis.
Yeah, so
Right.
y'all got it like that.
Yeah, and I think one of the coolest things they asked us to do, y'all were talking about the Food Network, right? It was all based around Dia de los Muertos. They asked us to do an altar installation.
Wow.
And so we're going to do this really cool, altar to San Antonio music legends and take that to Germany. And then they asked us to play the 4th of July barbecue at the consulado, the embassy in Frankfurt.
Nice.
So I think the festival's like 4 days, and then we'll do the 4th of July thing. And it's super cool because it's not just like playing music, right? We get to talk about things we're both super passionate about, like conjunto music.
Yeah.
The cultura of San Antonio, we're like 60% brown. And if we add, our black brothers and sisters, we're almost 75% a city of color.
I think it's probably more than that.
I agree. I agree, right? And so I think it's super cool, like, a kid from the border, a girl from the barrio. We're literally going as ambassadors of arts and culture. And I think, y'all were talking about inclusion. And in the past, they've taken like Americana artists or chefs or visual artists. So
The mayor.
So we're
Just like local celebs, right?
Yeah.
Local high what do they call it? High lifestyle folks.
That's not me. But I had a lot of fun in New York, and it was crazy. It was like a one-day thing. And it was just a room full of like influencers and like press. It was like an event the city threw to say like we're open for business. And I'm really excited about Germany because it's not that. It's like a festival. They have like there's like an international village where artists hang out together and stuff. So
Are you gonna like vlog it? Wouldn't that be cool to like take your like whole like experience and then like sell it and repackage it or something like that, or just do it on TikTok?
I mean, it's gonna start now because we have to like actually put together the altar, right? So like we gotta do like a curriculum. So you'll scan a QR code and it'll open these Google slides. Alvaro's gonna curate like a YouTube playlist and a Spotify playlist. So you'll scan QR codes and you'll get like this curated San Antonio Tex-Mex type thing. So
I got to ask you too, because I see your button, Team Salsa Verde, right? Not the rojo, right?
No.
So you got to explain to me how you came up with like the pick a side at your concerts.
Let's make him pick a side.
Oh.
I like it all, so you can't ask me.
No, you have to pick a
It's
side.
in my accordion.
Okay, so how does this work? How does this go?
Case.
Yeah, he's gonna watch.
Tell us about this.
Oh, well, Salsa Verde versus Salsa Roja is kind of a skit, something fun. We have some major audience participation at all the Piñata Protest shows. Well, basically what we do is we ask people to identify themselves as either Salsa Verde lovers or Salsa Roja lovers.
Which one do you love, people? You got to pick one.
You have to pick a side. And so what we do, we have we split up the crowd.
Look at this.
We come bearing gifts.
All right.
These are for you.
He splits up the crowd, right? One side roja, one side verde, and then
basically I just have them beat each other up.
And in a mosh pit.
Yeah, they do a wall of death, which is,
All right, folks, you hear that.
So, yeah, both sides come together and,
I gotta say though, so Alvaro's all salsa roja, whatever, but
Salsa Roja.
as the girl who sells all your merch, I sell out of verde way before. I still have so many rojas.
So everyone's buying the green one.
Yeah, because green is better.
I don't know. I think if I had to pick, I would say it's the red.
Well,
I find that the Roja is like for the underdogs, you know. There's not many of us, you know. We're a minority. I don't know. I love the Roja. I don't know. Actually, I used to be a Verde dude, but then I became Roja during COVID because I used to be going like during COVID. I was just sitting at home, man. I was just like eating tacos from the taqueria, like, you know, getting them to go. And anyways, they never had the Verde. So I was forced to eat the Roja. And eventually, man, I just fell in love with it. I was like, this
why
is
do
good.
You think
Like,
they
what?
never had Verde, though? It's because it's everyone's favorite. So they're
Right.
always out of it.
There you go. She's got a point here.
Yeah, man. But
That's why we had to bring you in here.
that's
the
what I'm
voice of
saying,
reason.
though. That's, you know, I don't know. Whatever. I'm still Roja for life. I'm going to get a tattoo of that, too.
There you go, man. So if you're watching right now, let us know what side you're picking. Green
Don't
or
lie,
red.
y'all.
I want to hear you. I want to see the comments right now. Is it red or green? We're going to count them up at the end of the show.
What's for you, Gylan?
Yeah,
Red or
Gylan.
green?
What are you rolling with, Gylan? You got to be a tiebreaker here.
Red or green? See?
Nah, dude.
See?
You don't. That
Tie
what?
maker.
Who asked you anyway? It was me. Oh shit. So yeah, man, this is fun. So I'm excited for y'all. Trip to Germany. I hope y'all vlog it, show people, highlight the culture too. It's exciting, and y'all doing a lot of different projects. I understand you got a show tonight or something. What do we got going on tonight? What do we got? A live performance?
We just
we
got a little something going on.
It's top secret, folks.
It
We didn't
is,
mean.
yeah.
I wasn't. They told me not to mention that before we went on live, but that's exactly what I'll do if you tell me not to. But good times.
Yeah, look, we brought you.
Look at these stickers. I love
Yes,
stickers.
these are
So
our
my son
number one
also collects
sellers.
stickers. I'm gonna send him to his school with this.
Oh, nice.
Gonna get in
This
trouble.
is dope. Now this is dope. Who came up with this?
That was me.
Did you design this?
I did. Well, the idea, yeah, but I didn't draw it. But the design is my idea.
This is a dope sticker, folks. You've got to get these stickers. Where can folks buy these? Do they have to come to the shows to buy them? Can they get them on
Right now, only at the shows. We actually our merch store is down. I'm working on getting
It's
something
because
going.
we sell it too fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, at our shows, we always have them.
I've seen y'all at one of the previous shows. I can't remember which one it was, and y'all did sell a lot of shirts quick.
Sorry.
No, it's a good thing.
My favorite
You
part
pumping
is-
them, you selling them though.
I am. The people come up and they're like, I don't want to carry the shirt. I'll come back after the show. And I'll be
Better
real
get it
honest.
now.
Like, good luck with that. And then they come back all sad, like, you're out of extra large. And I'm like, I tried to tell you, bye. You don't want to buy it. So, yeah, we do sell out of merch fast. So show up early on Friday because I got new merch.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it won't last long.
So at the show Friday, tell me about the show Friday. Where's it at?
It's gonna be at SAC. It's Fred Stock.
What time does it start?
I think it starts about.
The event is from
5.
2 to 10 p.m. Jesse Borrego, Crucito, hometown
Okay,
hero,
Jesse. All right
is
now.
the MC of the event, right? So
Wait a minute. What is this? This is a fiesta event?
it's
It's Saks?
Saks Fiesta event.
Okay.
It's that. It's in the Tech Building's parking lot.
KSYM. Yeah.
And starts at 2, but Piñata's 8:45.
8:40. Who else is playing?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. As long as Piñata's there.
I'm just kidding. No, they got
I just want to know who's on their lineup. Who's on the card?
It's Chris Cuevas project.
Honey Bunny.
I don't. Man, I'm like
Chris
the worst at
Perez
this,
or,
man.
or Cuevas?
Chris Cuevas.
Yeah, and then I think there's a band called Honey Bunny.
Yeah.
Oh, my favorite.
I'm the worst at like
That's
this
all
stuff,
good.
man. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's all good. I just wondered. We can go. People
8:45.
can go. There's this website I hear that's called Google. People can look it up at. But I've been wrong before as well. So don't take my word for it. But 8:45 your set starts. What y'all gonna go for about an hour?
Yeah, we got an hour, actually hour and 15. So we're actually gonna have a rehearsal
They're
tomorrow.
closing out. They close out Fred Stock.
Yeah.
Headlining it.
It's cool, man. It's an event put together by the students there that go to the college to give them experience about.
So who's Fred,
know.
by the way?
Inside.
Why do they do this shit to us? So let me ask you this: how do you stay in shape, man? How do you exercise? Because you on stage, man, giving it out.
Well,
right?
these days I'm not so much in shape. But yeah, I don't know, man. I love going on bike rides every day, man. It's like my me time.
There you go.
And I just like jam out to norteño music, and I'm like, you know, I love it, man. I do that, and I don't know. I just try not to eat too many tacos and drink too much beer.
Well, that's hard to do when there's so much good salsa around here. Red salsa, by the way. But that's an underestimated and underspoken to part of performance. right? Having the wind, having the
Right
cardio,
on,
having the
man.
endurance, the stamina
Yeah.
to get through a show.
on.
You're belting it out. You're dancing around. It's hot as hell, right? And most
Yeah.
of the shit's outdoors.
Yeah, Kelly, she also performs with a band called Volcan, and recently
Yeah, shout out to Volcan.
she almost passed out.
Are you
God.
serious?
Several of us did.
my
these
God.
When was this?
Saturday at Chunk.
Oh, it was this year. I thought you were telling me like 3 years ago or something.
No, so I closed out a show. I also do theater. So Mono wrote
Yeah.
a play. We did it at Jaime's place, man. I just special shout out to Jaime because that vato will open his doors for anyone. He'll let, Mono was like, Jaime, we saw that Food Network and we want to do theater on the West Side. And Jaime was like, come through. Come, we'll do a matinee theater. So we did this awesome show, Hope and Camaradas. But it was a lot. Like we did that. And then I rushed over to Southwest School of the Arts Fiesta. And like that show is in the sun. And then we rushed over to Chanclas y Cerveza. And like, I gotta be better about packing a lunch because I mean, I love Whataburger, but like y'all cannot give us free Whataburger and then expect me to get on stage and like dance my ass off, right? And so just me and Amanda, our bass player, and one of our horn players, it got real hot and you just drink water and it's like you were saying, it's you really gotta have endurance, right? You gotta be able to and still be like fun while you're doing it, right? You have to be able to smile and so it's intense and like Fiesta's always a crazy time, I think, for all bands.
Yeah.
Just
Chicken
solid
on a stick
books.
is not the pre-game meal.
Man, like we don't even get to enjoy Fiesta. We were just saying that like you show
Do they give
up-
y'all beer at least? Not that that's the most
Sometimes.
hydrating stuff either.
That like you got to make good choices out there. So beer makes you heavy, it dehydrates you.
You got to make good choices. Don't select the green salsa, folks. It's not where it's at. If you selected green tonight, no offense to you, but go away.
It's funny too, when we were touring in New Mexico, people were just like standing in the middle screaming Christmas at us. And we were
What?
like, what?
Yeah.
Because, in New Mexico, it's really big too. Like, how do you take your hatch? Do you take it red or green? And apparently there's this thing where you say Christmas and they bring you like half and half. And so everyone in New Mexico was like, Christmas. And finally this lady showed me a shirt and it was like a chile and half was green and half was red.
Yeah, they don't do salsa over there, man.
They do chile.
They do chile.
I got you.
Which I didn't know.
I wasn't following until you said that.
Yeah.
I didn't know this until like after like the skit because I was doing the salsa
And
roja.
everyone was just like,
Everywhere else, it's fine, but you go to
Not
New
there.
Mexico, they're like, "What the? Is this
Yeah.
you talking about?"
and then because I sell the merch, I sell the merch, right? So several people come up here in New Mexico. We eat either chili or chile, and we like them both. And I was like,
We should get buttons that have Team Chile Roja and Chile.
There you go.
or like
Another
Team
idea.
Christmas, because that's what they call it. No.
See, but this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the culture, because most people are like salsa, yeah, like picante, right? And then other people are like, when you say chile, that's what a lot of folks grew up on, like some
Yeah.
fucking hot shit that your grandma made. You know what I'm saying? That shit would burn your mouth off when you was a little kid and scarred you for the rest of your damn life.
Yeah.
Like Chile's unique shit. I mean, we're talking some hot stuff. That's what I think when I think of Chile. But most folks wouldn't know. You got to be in the culture. You got to be in the know to even know what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
These are the conversations I like having. How would you describe the difference?
Yeah.
Break it down for
So
us.
I will say, I think that the New Mexico chile is more of like a gravy. It's like real thick. There's
is,
also
yeah.
like no tomato in it. You know, like
It is, yeah, just the ingredients are.
yeah, like salsa. From what I understand, the only difference between red and green hatch chili is that one of them is like fresh and one of them is maduro, ripe.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but it's more like a gravy, right? Like a sauce, like tipo mole. Like it doesn't taste like mole.
Dude, you gotta.
You gotta, man.
What was the name of that place that you kept talking about?
Oh, it's called
Not Whataburger.
Blake's Lottaburger.
Lottaburger.
In New Mexico?
I drive the tour van, and so I often get to pick like what we're gonna eat, and they have like their version of Whataburger. It's this spot called
Okay.
Blake's Lottaburger.
Dude, do
But-
yourself a favor.
It's good?
The breakfast burritos. Like, I made these boys get up early, and I was like, they stopped serving breakfast at 11. This van is leaving at 10. But then after we all got the burritos, they were like, yo. Because you can get, like, you get, like, whatever carne or egg or whatever, and then red or green, right?
Dude.
That's the...
You still...
I'm
you
still,
caught
man.
up.
I'm still like... Actually, I took my parents, I went with my family. We went to New Mexico recently, and that was one of the stops. I was like, you got to go. And my
See?
parents also were very doubtful. They're like, can't be that good.
No one ever believes me.
Yeah. But, dude, yeah.
So this is like a national thing?
So
Or it's like a chain? I mean,
well,
is it just
no,
one
it's
joint?
a New Mexico thing.
It's one. It's
Yeah.
all
It's
in New
like a
Mexico.
Whataburger thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like
It's like HEB.
no, it's like literally a Whataburger. It's their
Yeah.
version of Whataburger because they also make burgers.
Except they're
These
not bought out
burritos
by
are just
Chicago.
breakfast. So it's because and the only reason I even know about it is I do ballet folklorico too, and they have this huge mariachi espectacular. And one year I got flown out to do that, and I danced with the University of New Mexico. Someone dropped out, and they needed like a pinch hitter, and I had to wear a name tag that said Monica. But they took me to, they were like, best breakfast burritos ever. And I was like, I don't know. And that's like how I found out about that. And so now every time I'm in New Mexico, I'm like, gotta go to Blake's. And no one ever believes you at first because it's like you roll up to just like a fast food joint and everyone's like, I don't know. But it's the breakfast. I've never had a burger from there, so I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not vouching for their burgers, but their breakfast burritos, because they're huge and they got like hash browns in them and like cheese and.
Well, we're going to get down with Blake's, especially if they're going to pay us some sponsorship dollars. So thank you so much, Blake's. Welcome to the show. Vod Pod Media, send the check.
We're bringing them in Texas, man.
That's
I
right.
was like, can y'all just put one here? Like.
We're going to taste test your stuff next time. And Kelly, what don't you do? You drive the van, you doing the dance, you're Monica.
She's a
Who else? I mean,
professor,
I am. I run the sound sometimes.
runs our sound.
Look, I'm going to be honest. I am really bad at like regular adult tasks. For example, I will get a check from something and it'll sit on the table for like 2 weeks until he's like, are you going to cash that check? Or I'm also just like really bad at like those kind of adult tasks. I have a storage unit full of like costumes and stuff like that, and I'm constantly paying it late. I just, I also I failed biology 3 times. So clearly science isn't my thing.
But everything else.
No, I think I just, growing up poor, extremely poor, in a family where your parents work 2-3 jobs to make ends meet, you gotta figure shit out. And then I think too, being the brown person in the room, you have to have it together. You have to know what you're doing. You have to be really good at it because people are already going to doubt you. They're already going to be like, what does she know about this or that, right? And I think, watching my parents have to, like my dad picked grapes, right, in California. My mom was like a secretary, and they worked so hard, so long.
yeah.
And I think, it's important to me that I take full advantage. Like they literally cruzaron la frontera so we could have a better life, right? And so I'm on some like, well, gotta make the best of it. And I think
They guilt trip us.
no, for real, it's right. I think also I'm just one of those people that like if I'm gonna commit to something, I'm like really gonna commit to it, and I spend a lot of time, learning about it. And I feel like that hard work pays though, right? Like you work
Hopefully it
hard
does.
and I think too, like if you work on the right stuff, like y'all were talking about earlier, like building community and investing in our own, right? Like in nuestra gente, it could go a long way. The city might take notice and send you to Germany.
Right on.
Yeah.
So good notes on that. And your makeup looks fabulous on camera, by the way. So that's right. That's the other reason we had to bring you in here. We've got Joanne commenting. Joanne, thank you for sticking with us. She says, drum roll, Team Salsa Roja. Hey, and she loves the stickers. Where do we send them to you, Joanne? Let us know. Write your address in here right now. Don't do that.
No, don't do that.
Just
DM
kidding.
it. Don't.
DM the address. So tell us, Alvaro, what's next for you, the bands? Where's Piñata Protest in 10 years?
Well, y'all
Have
are
you
in
thought
the
about that?
studio. Tom, you're in the studio, right? Y'all are about to release a new song.
Yeah, we've been releasing songs. We've just been releasing singles, man. And then once we compile like about 10, we're going to release a new album.
So definitely check out their Spotify. Taking This Ride is their newest release. One of my
Taking
favorites.
This Ride.
Yeah.
Check it out. Google it. Spotify. Download. Pay. Purchase. We want to hear it. We want to get this. We want to get y'all. We want to get y'all mainstream, man. Could y'all do that?
I don't think so, and I don't know if I'd want to. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that, man, because, you know.
Why?
In the punk rock spirit, man, like, I love being the underdog. I love, you know, being the rebel, you know, and going mainstream means leaving all that behind.
Maybe, though. Maybe not.
I don't know, man. But I do have a lot of, like, there's a lot of bands, like, I look up to that are, you know, they're very successful. You know, they've been around forever and, you know, play huge shows. And yet they still maintain their identity, man. Like, they don't have no, like, corporate kind of anything, you know, behind them, backing them up, you know, and they stay true to their values, man. And those are the kind of bands that, you know, I'd want to be. And in 10 years, man, I definitely want to keep doing what I'm doing. No matter how big Piñata Protest gets, I'm still going to be playing in callejeros because I love this music, you know. I'm still going to be doing backyard barbecues and quinceañeras, you know, because I love it, you know. So, yeah, I want Piñata Protest to be bigger and touring the whole world and, you know, make tons of money and stuff and play huge festivals, of course. But at the same time, yeah, man, I'm going to keep it real and I'm going to be playing the music I love.
That's dope, man. That's respectable, laudable. And we had to bring you in here because I think in 20, 30 years, you'll be one of those Ramon Ayala's, one of those guys, one of those local legends that has got this lore and this history. And people, man, I saw him 30 years ago. He was at this hole in the wall, smashing down the walls with an accordion, man.
He could spin around and jump around back then, but nowadays he just...
They walk him out. He sits on the stool. I think, you know, for me, I always tell Alvaro this, and this, like, fangirl right before we ever met. I was a big fan of the music, and I tell him this all the time, like, man, growing up brown is so hard already. And when you're not, like, in the regular scene, so, like, I grew up in Southern California. All my cousins were into, like, rap and, like, stuff like that. And I was really into, like, ska and punk and emo. And all of that is a very white scene. It's so white, right? Especially, like, on the coast. And I remember always feeling, like, really, like, disconnected. And then I hear Piñata Protest, and I'm like, fuck, that was the... Oh, sorry, I dropped an F-bomb. My bad. That was the band I needed growing up, right? Like 13-year-old Kelly needed a band that combined the punk she loved with the ska she loved, but also with the huapango that she loved, or with the conjunto that she loved, right? Because I've been collecting conjunto records since I was a kid, and so, and you know, like, I think one of the coolest things that happened on tour is this young kid came up to me, and he was like, "It's my first Piñata show. I'm buying this record. Do you think you get the guys to sign it?" And he tells me this whole story about he heard Vato Perron in high school, and he started a band. And now they're, like, in college, and they have this band, and, like, it moved him in the way that, like, kids need that kind of music, right? Like, our young brown kids need to know that there is music that they can identify with, and that there are people doing these amazing things and that they can do it too, right? And I think one of the cool things too about being on tour is a lot of the shows are all ages, and so you'll see these, like, little brown girls and little brown boys come to the show, and just, like,
Kelly, yeah, she went on tour with us with the Casualties. It was a 3-week tour. It was a great tour, man. Every show was packed to the walls, wild. Yeah, Kelly joined us on stage, you know, playing the Guido. And yeah, man, it just like she said, man, especially I loved seeing, like, the little girls, like, they weren't expecting that at all.
No.
Yeah, that's
it's
dope.
a boys club. Punk is a boys club, right?
Yeah.
And, like, this tour was, like, all boys, and a lot of the audience is, like, white people because the Casualties, right? And it was super cool to see, you know, these very young girls who were already huge Piñata fans, but then to see, like, a girl come out, and they would come up after, and I'd be like, "You play an instrument, mija? Like, hey, play music. Like, girls play punk too, right?" And so, you know, and I think, and it's not just little girls. There's, like, little boys there too that are like accordion is cool, right? Like our music is cool, and you can do cool stuff with that, right? And I think the fact that like they'll always sound check with like La Puerta Negra or some like old school song, and like people get rowdy.
They do, yeah.
Recently too, like what we started doing when we got back to Texas, is Kelly would play son jarocho, so her and her bandmate would play traditional son jarocho music, like either in the beginning or the middle of our set, and that was really cool too, man. Like, you know, bringing a totally not punk style music, you know, totally traditional indigenous style music to a punk show, you know, and just seeing the reaction, you know, from the crowd. And it's always good, man, and especially from the kids, man, being mesmerized by Kelly.
And he also, like, something cool y'all started doing too is they'll feature young artists. So like if you came to the Cesar Chavez March a few weekends ago, right, Piñata Protest played right after Little Joe, and one of Alvaro's students played a song with them, right? And in Corpus, he'll always invite the girls from Chicas Rock to come and play. So I just, you know, I really always shout out Piñata for kind of like doing more with their platform, right? Like creating spaces for young artists, or just to like expose punks to like their music. Like this is our music, right? And if we don't keep it alive, who will?
Yeah, because the people that you're inspiring are going to come up with the next thing. It's going to be the next thing, right? Because in 20 years, there's going to be a new thing.
Right on. And
right?
People talk about right now, like, why is conjunto or Tejano music, why is it dying? Why
is it like estancado?
Yeah.
It's like stuck.
You know, and, you know, we got to get the younger kids, you know, in there to like it. You know, I teach accordion at a local middle school. Well, I teach conjunto class, you know, and, you know, the kids love it, you know, and I don't tell them about Piñata Protest, but I, you know, they like my enthusiasm, and I'm very enthusiastic, and I love teaching them. I love seeing them learn. You know, and to me, it's about that, man. It's about inspiring, you know, these kids, you know, and having them love their culture, you know, and that's how we keep conjunto and Tejano alive, you know.
Yeah, because we need to. It shouldn't be this generation versus another generation hating on, right? Because you mentioned that earlier. This generation and previous to this year don't support this, or they're hating on your style of music. We all got to work together here, right? I mean, we should be passing the baton. We should be working together. We should be collaborating. We should be supportive of each other.
Yeah, we're on the same team, man. Like we really, really are. Like, you know, I think, especially like in the music scene, you know, like even like, you know, amongst like other bands that, you know, are in the Latino style, you know,
they're not hating on you, are they?
No, but you know, it's like band competition kind of stuff, you know, nothing like bad at all, but like, dude, at the end of the day, man, like we're like brothers and sisters.
Yeah,
we really, really are. Like this style of music, like especially in Tejano Conjunto, like, dude, like if we want to keep it alive, we have to fucking join forces, man. You know, there's so many other genres. I'm not dogging on like pop or reggaeton and stuff like that, but like, you know, that's what's popular right now. That's what's kicking everything else's asses right now, you know. And even like country too, you can make an argument for that, man. So, you know, we really are on the same team, man. And even like you can make a further argument that live music in general, you know, we're in competition with like freaking Netflix at home, like staying home,
well,
you know.
Just DJs,
you know?
right? Like
DJs,
people will get up and dance to DJs and their favorite hits, and you know, I think I don't know. I think especially conjunto, like that's a Sananto thing.
Yeah. Like
it's born and bred on the west side, on the south side, and I really, you know, Alvaro's doing this. I don't know if y'all talked about it, Conjunto Underground, right? Did y'all talk about it?
I don't think you did.
No, it's a series of shows. I'm throwing collaboration with Mi Tierra, and I'm just bringing in prominent conjunto artists to have free shows, man, to give them, well, number one, a place to play on a Thursday night, because especially during COVID, it was really hard, you know? And number two, have it free, make it accessible to people. And make it also, the third thing was I really wanted to create like this kind of vintage, kind of capture the beginning essence of conjunto music, which was just a simple accordion and bajo sexto, and just have it like that in a very intimate setting. So I've had Santiago,
The Chief, right?
yeah,
Jimenez.
had Eva Ibarra, have Josh Baca, trying to get Flaco in there, you know.
How's he doing?
He's good, man. He's still
He's
playing.
still playing. He played Green a couple weeks ago with the Tex Maniacs. He only does maybe like 2, 3, 4 songs though, and then you know. But I think another thing that Alvaro, even just the name, right? Like trying to create a buzz again around Conjunto, right? And trying to, and I think something that was really cool about Conjunto Underground is like the regulars showed up, right? The abuelos and the abuelas and the tios and the tias, but some young kids came too, and some younger couples, and so I think that the work Alvaro is doing around trying to get a younger audience into Conjunto, like Conjunto's cool, come be cool with us.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. And shout out to all the companies, Mi Tierra, all the other companies. There's nothing wrong with corporations, especially if you're giving us those dollars in the 6 figures. I gotta have that caveat in there. And shout out to Guyland, man, over here at VOD Pod with the fact checking. Blake's Lottaburger has 72 locations in New Mexico and Arizona. What's up? If you're in New Mexico and Arizona,
Send me a burrito.
I want to hear what you think about this restaurant, Blake's Lottaburger, which I just imagine like the W in Whataburger upside down. For some reason, I don't know how they get that.
Or like to the side.
Yeah,
Like
it's like a knockoff.
Order the carne adobada breakfast burrito.
Let us know what you're thinking out there. And so let's get to some closing thoughts from y'all. I appreciate you coming through. It's always a pleasure to break bread, sit down with good people. That's what we want this table to be. We're bringing together amazing people that have innovative, inspiring, dynamic minds, leaders here in the respective spaces. But give us some closing thoughts for the audience, for anything y'all want people to know, any of your fans and followers and people that have listened to us this Wednesday night. Some we had to pay. We don't pay our followers to like and subscribe here at all, but some we had to make some promises to get them to follow along. I'm kidding, folks. But give us some closing thoughts, man. What are y'all thinking here tonight? What y'all think about your experience tonight at VOD Pod? Tell us a little bit, anything you want to do on the closing words. We want to hear some thoughts from y'all.
Well, thank you very much for having us, man. Your space, I thank you for showing us your space, man. Y'all are visionaries here, man, and I look forward to seeing what you guys are gonna do with this space. Thank you to everybody tuning in, especially those of y'all that have come out to shows in the past, man. That means everything to us. Thank you for all the support, and it keeps us going strong. I think about y'all a lot. Those of y'all that have been coming to the shows a lot, and thank you. I can't say anything more than that, really.
That's what's up, man. A lot of heart, because that's what the performances are about, man. You leave a piece of your heart out there.
Yeah.
Sharing that with people, man. That's a beautiful experience, man.
Yeah.
So however we can support you as well here, let us know whatever you need, whatever we can do for you, man. Let us know, man. We got your back.
Thank you. Kelly, you want to say something?
I think I'm always really happy when down people, the comunidad, right? Gente de comunidad, people like Guyland, like yourself, that have been doing the work, get to do stuff like this. Because y'all are just serving the community right back. And I think that's what it is, right? Like, we should be creating our own spaces to tell our own stories, to do our own work without having to worry about being censored, being told what we can and can't do on air.
Absolutely.
Right? And I commend y'all, dude. Like, I remember over a year ago when Guyland was talking about it, and like just to come up in here and be like, oh my God, y'all did it. And the fact that you're, like I said, like creating a space for local artists to come and do their work, right? In a safe space, in a space of our own people, right? Nuestra gente that we know are gonna be on our side at the end of the day. I think, man, felicidades to both of y'all and to all the shows you got going. Y'all got some big things coming up. I'm really excited to see, what y'all do. And I think, I commend y'all, because I know a lot of this is like your own stuff and like
a lot of hard work. You know how it is?
And sweat and really doing the damn thing, right? Like sweeping, mopping, running cables. And shout out to y'all for just kind of creating this space that is not only like available now, but like the vision that y'all have and the work y'all are trying to do, and kind of like bringing your community with you. I think that's great. Also, come to Piñata show on Friday because I'm gonna have new merch in all the sizes
So
before it sells out.
Do people have to buy tickets or just show up?
No, it's free. It's free. It's one of the few free fiesta events. So, we'll be out there selling new
This would make a good
merch.
medal. I don't know how y'all feel about the medals, but this would make a good medal.
Dude, I dropped the ball this year. I had one for last year, but for this year I dropped the ball. But yes, you're right. I like that.
Well, I
Because
got
the
'em all
medals,
back.
people love the medals.
They do.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think they're gold.
I
Right?
did it once. It's a great fundraiser,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah, if you're making money.
yeah, fiesta's a whole other.
But people have these medals like this shit. I mean,
No,
Dude,
they
yeah.
they meet up during the year and like trade them for like, it's insane.
no
Like,
disrespect to you medal collectors, but my God, come on now. What are you doing
look,
with
we
yourselves?
have our Piñata pin back. This is something that we haven't had in stock since November, so I'll probably sell out real quick. Come and buy merch. Also, I've got very limited red edition. I got maybe like 10 of those left. The Red Plethora, their first album, they pressed a few in red. So
That's what's up.
come and buy merch.
Well, we appreciate your support as well, the good words. We are here. We are doing it every week. Every Wednesday night, we are on the air. Like Guile and I put that down. We said we are doing a show come hell or high water every Wednesday night if we're in here talking to this bottle of water. So thank you for the support. We're consistency, right? I mean, that's the other thing, right? You're going to doubt yourself? Hell no. We'll be beyond that. We're doing this.
I know.
And the other thing is, yes, we are serving the community until we get those 7 figures from Blake's Lottaburger out of New Mexico. And at that point,
You're
we're going to
welcome,
talk about deliverables and me loving their food and all that stuff. But thank you, folks, for being with us tonight. Follow them on social media. Find them. Great people, great performers, great artists. Thank you, VodPod Media. Share, comment, subscribe to us. We love you. You'll see us back here next Wednesday night. And that's all, folks. Have a great night. Cha-ching. Oh, my.